Check Morocco, check Ethiopia. A lot of these countries that doesn't have any resources, just little resources, are doing way better than countries that have resources. It doesn't make any sense to me. Where is the economic truth?
So you see the sun ray shining out of Ethiopia is because at that time almost all of Africa was under colonialism except for Ethiopia. So Ethiopia was a shining example of independence. So that's why we have that bright light, because we gave hope. Hope for all black nations that there is a black nation that's not been defeated, that actually won a colonial power, and that it's a hope. And this is where Pan-Africanism starts.
I never even knew that.
Yeah.
Chat, I never even knew that.
Alright, that's Ishowspeed in Ethiopia. You know, I asked the question, why is it that the most resource-rich countries, especially here in Africa, are always the poorest? You know, they have the poorest people. They have the underdeveloped. The most rich resource countries here in Africa are always the underdeveloped countries. They are always the poorest countries. Why? Look at Ethiopia. This Ethiopia, you can't even find them in top 20 list of countries that have resources. The same thing with Morocco. The same thing with Rwanda. The same thing with a lot of countries, you know, that doesn't have any resources. Like, they have little resources, but they are like, the country is looking good. They have nice cities, nice environments, you know, like you will see that their political system is going well, the citizens are living well. But come to countries that have the resources. Come to countries that have resources. Those countries, especially those ones that are colonized, that's where you see the main poverty. Especially, do you check Congo, Nigeria, Sudan, Libya? A lot of them that have the resources that can change the whole Africa. Themselves, the country itself is living under poverty. Why? Why is it like that? Where is the economic truth in this? A country that is blessed with natural resources is poor. How can the economics explain this to me? Where is the truth? I mean, you are supposed to live in the best life. I mean, a child being born into wealth is supposed to live the best life, because you're already born into wealth. You have the natural resources. But so whenever we speak about imperialism and segregation, what the West is doing to Africa, many people will think like, maybe, you know, that's why they interfere with our political system. They make sure that everything remains unstable so that they can be able to pack those resources. In fact, the colonization was because of the resources. They want to make sure that African countries remain poor, so that those African countries that have resources, is dependable on them. They can never use their resources to develop themselves. Okay, explain this to me in a layman understanding. Doesn't make any sense.